And I'm so happy to have Anthony Henderson here today. Hi, Anthony.
Hello, how are you today?
I am so happy to be connected to you. You have already brought a smile to my face just in the time before we went live and you were making me laugh. So I knew you were the perfect person to talk to on a Monday. How are you?
I'm outstandingly fantastic. That's usually how I start my day. I always start grateful, and when somebody asks me in the morning until about 5 o'clock, I'm fantastically outstanding, outstandingly fantastic. If I'm coming, I'm outstandingly fantastic. If I'm leaving, I'm fantastically outstanding.
Anthony, you are so great. You are so great. And let me just say for the record, oops, first I got to get your name on here. What am I thinking? There we go. For the record, I always tell you this every time I see you. I love how dapper you are. It's
Thank you.
it's a it's a gift to us to get to see. You and I share the wonderful love of hats.
Yes, too many too sometimes, but enough to make me happy.
But we're never wearing too many at once, are we? I mean,
No,
usually we
not never.
have one on. So
I've only done that once. Had two hats on. I had one hat on and another one underneath it because I didn't want to lose it. So I put it on underneath and it was smaller. And somebody just looked at me like, your head got bigger. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. So then I got a hat and had another hat. They're like, this is ridiculous. You're going to do it glass next.
you, you are so great. Hey, you're coming in and out a little bit. I'm just going to make sure that, yeah, I've got everything closed. Let's just launch in, shall we?
All
And I'll let you
right.
know. You're freezing on me a little bit. Are you
I'm going to close some stuff on my end too. That might
okay?
be a little bit better.
Yeah, already I think it is. I don't want to lose you.
I could always be found.
So, Anthony, as you know, I'm talking to this wonderful community of ours of high performance coaches. And I thought of you because every time I see you, you are so you're connecting, you're present, you always have a big smile on your face. And I really wanted to bring you in on these conversations, especially right now during this time of crisis, and just check in with you and see like what are you doing to take extra care of yourself right now? Or what tips do you have for people right now?
Well, mostly, first you have to use common sense. That's the first thing, Don't do something that you know that would put you at risk. Myself, I have a hand sanitizer in the car. I
Uh-huh.
haven't really changed too many of my habits, except I'm more conscious of what I'm doing when I'm going. Like I said, I've been probably to Walmart 4 times already, looking for some extra supplies. I made sure that the house is okay. I stay away from crowds and everything else. My 9 to 5 has decided to send us home, but I can work remotely. I work for a Fortune 50 company, so I stay home, work remotely. But I also believe that you have to do self-care, and self-care is no differently. I mean, I don't do drugs, but I do vitamins and supplements. I take Brendan's Optimizer. I've switched to that. I kind of like it. I'm still trying to get used to it, but I take and that's it. I'm over 50, so I take a multivitamin. I take a extra B. I take the Optimizer, and you have to keep your routines up. Your body knows when something's wrong, and usually what it usually knows mostly is when something is worrying you and bothering you, and it starts acting funny. And I tell people, don't let your body or your mind trick your body into doing something it's not supposed to do. So I've not changed my routine. I don't have to get up early because I'm working at home. I can sleep in 2 more hours. No, I still get up at 5:15 in the morning. I have accountability partners that are future high performance coaches who keep us accountable. One of them, he gets up an hour earlier, but it's an hour on my time. So usually he says he's going to bring the joy today, brings the energy. I've kept my same routine in the morning, no matter what. And
Yeah.
and I usually keep it 6 days a week. The only time I cheat is on Sunday, and that might be another hour and a half of sleep, give or take a little bit. So I
You
recommend to people to keep the norm.
I love what you're saying, about keeping your routine, keeping things normal as much as possible. Because when everything is chaotic, around us as it is, That's so, and I want to hear you say a little bit more about that. Like when you say, don't let your body know, or don't what, I forget exactly how you said it, but I love it. I mean, basically saying like we don't need our bodies to be worried. How,
Yes. To be clear, it's what happens is your mind worries. It lets you worry. It's made to worry. We've gotten that from children, and we let our mind start worrying about things that may never happen. I mean, we worry about so much that never happens, and it just puts our body in a different state. A lot of higher performance people say, smile, get your body in a different state. Brendan says it, Tony says it, Dean says it. You get your body in that different state so it doesn't worry about the other state. So if you just breathe, relax, and go like, this too will pass, this will happen. Things happen all the time. This is just our age of something happening that is big. I know that 9/11, and I'm a New Yorker, was bad for me, and it still kind of messes with my head every once in a while, but I don't let myself stay there. I usually just move out of that and go like, you know what, 9/11 happened. I lost friends and family there, but it happened. And so I learned how to relax and go like, you know what, if this is what's supposed to happen, this was supposed to happen, but I'm not going to worry about it. No, hey, maybe that because of them going, I'm now a little bit better, but I have a little bit more understanding of what life means now because they didn't think nothing was going to happen that day. I wouldn't have thought. My mother worked in that building, so I have a more appreciative feeling in life because that happened. So every time something comes on around September, I get a little bit more understanding that hey, I need to step up my life a little bit more every time I see something. And this virus going on right now, it's the same thing. Hey, not just your life, but people around you. Hey, see how precious they are. Say thank you more. You
wow.
see somebody down the street looking like they're upset or just walking with their head down, you tell them like, I hope I could find what you're looking for too, because you're missing all the stuff that's going on around here. And sometimes you get a crazy look and then they just laugh at you and then you just smile like, hey, have a good day. And you just walk on. That could just save somebody's day.
Wow, Anthony, so many beautiful things in what you just said. This sense of um, times like this being able to bring us to a place of greater appreciation for what we have, for a greater appreciation of our connections to people. Like you're saying, it's the people we're passing on the street or our friends and family. I think we're seeing this so much, and I hope that piece continues of this just greater sense of love and connection. And so I'm really grateful that you're bringing that up. And also, what you're saying about worry, because I've been having a lot of conversations with people about this, and again, back to what you were saying about the body, that we need to take care of ourselves, and stress and worry do not serve our physical beings or our mental beings at all, right?
That's correct.
And yeah. And so, as much as we can all take care of ourselves, just like you started this conversation saying, how are we taking care of ourselves so that we're in really good physical health as best we can possibly be right now?
That is correct. And again, gyms are closing. I've seen a lot of people have just learned how to work at home better. I saw somebody put some dishwashing soap on their floor and used it as a stair stepper. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. We become more creative in times like this, and a lot of people just sit down and don't let things happen to them. That's not how it's supposed to be. We were never made to let things happen to us. That's how we become stagnant, and that's how we get into those little holes. We're supposed to use this time to say, like, what would I have done if I had all this time off anyway? What could I be doing? And we should do that. We have books that we want to read. I want to learn this. I hear Brendan. He better start speaking Spanish within the next 2 years, or me and him are going to go into it. But I mean, all these little things that are now happening, and we're supposed to kind of like, this is a time that we're supposed to expand our thinking, and we have the time. We have all that travel time that we give up right now. An hour here. Well, now you have that hour. Use that hour and be productive in that hour. I hear so many people, oh, I don't have time. I'm sorry. I have the same 24 you got. I've just learned to make time for what's important. and get
Mm.
rid of things that are not important. And I'm trying to do things. And sometimes it does get a little jumbled up in there, and I have to give up a little bit here and there. But that little bit here and there is making my brain and my spirit so much greater because I'm going like, wow, look, I don't have to drive 1 hour a day. Oh, I feel like I won.
Yes, and I just, again, what you're saying about make time for what's important, and that's going to be different for everyone right now. You know, for some people it's going to be putting more time into their physical health and taking care of themselves. For some people it's going to be connecting with loved ones. For some people it's going to be learning a new language, or I'm determined to learn the ukulele during this period because I've wanted to do it for years and I've never done it. But whatever it is, I think you're right, to be intentional about it and to really think about, you know, I've seen so many people talking about Netflix, and I understand that. Like, this is a big time that people want comfort and people are asking each other for recommendations, and that's fine. You know, it's fine, but also to be really intentional about backing up and thinking like, is this really what is going to support me right now? Right?
I have Netflix in my house, and I could actually tell you I've watched Netflix in the last 6 months twice. It's not for me. I try to stay away from TV as much as I can. I know I'm a big watching of YouTube every morning. When I'm doing my workout, I watch something motivational and positive every morning, and usually that same half an hour that I wrote in to work on. Usually my phone is on, it's connected to speakers in the car, and it's something motivational. It might be Brendan, it might be someone else, but it's always more like, hey, you can be better than you are right now. Look at yourself, try to figure out what do you need to add to yourself. Because I believe that we are already all okay, but we all have the right to be better, and it's up to us to choose to be better. And that's where we start losing it, because it's like, do I really want to be better? What comes with being better? A lot. But a lot of people don't want that lot. They're like, oh, I'll just live in mediocrity and go with the norm. Well, norm never got us anything. Norm never wouldn't have got us into the air. Norm would have never got us under the water. Norm doesn't get us anywhere. It just gets us to be. And nobody wants to just be. We all want something else.
Mm. Oh, Anthony, yes. As you're saying this, I'm looking, you have Brendan's High Performance Habits behind you. And
That's a big book.
and I'm thinking, and you also happened to tell me that you had some Napoleon Hill, that, you know, we were talking about that. So this idea of how fortunate we all are to have so many teachers readily available is another thing. So you could look at, you know, personal growth and mindset, that whole world. Also, what you were talking about, you were talking about doing your workouts, and I've been making a list right now of all the dance and yoga classes that have moved online, and sort of making a little menu for myself, because that's the other thing. So many people have offered their teachings online now, that's amazing too. You know, that you could be doing a workout and listening to something motivational. You can be watching workouts. So grateful for that.
I am so grateful for that too. A person that I met at one of Brendan's events, he was on yesterday for about an hour. He ran through everything for an hour. I saw the people in Italy. I saw somebody on a roof somewhere in one country just saying, hey, I'm going to hold a Zumba course for all my neighbors. I've actually seen here people playing instruments, like, you know, like from corner to corner to corner to corner. They all picked up, and it's like a simple song. They'll play, like, you know, maybe the Star Spangled Banner, Yankee Doodle, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, but you like listen like, hey, I think I'm hearing music. And then you look, and there's a guy playing a trombone right there. And then you look, and there's a guy playing a guitar over here. And then you go like, wait a minute, they're all playing the same song. This is amazing. And you know what? Is this what it takes to bring us together? Something like this, when we could have been doing this all along?
I know, but you know, it's so beautiful. Like just that story you just told about people playing music, you know, on, you know, keeping their distance, but playing music. And I was thinking the same thing last night. Some of my family got together on Zoom and we were playing a board game together. And I thought, same thing you did. I thought, gee, we could have been doing this all the time. It took this moment for us to be creative enough to think of that.
But you know what's really weird about this? It was already done. There was a commercial out at least 2 years ago that they had people in different states or different countries playing the same song together. The only difference was, yes, they were already doing it. The only thing is they didn't have to. They just
Yeah,
did. Now, see, there's the difference right there. When you have an option to do something like this, why not take it?
that's beautiful. That's so beautiful. Hey, I'm going to pause for a second and just
Sure.
say that we are on live on Facebook. Sometimes when the internet is a little bit overcrowded at the moment, I don't see the
Really?
comment. I don't see the comments. And so I don't know if anybody's joined us. I hope they have. And if they have, I just want to say hello. We're just not seeing them right now. And so I just wanted to say that because I usually like to say hi to people as they're joining in.
That's
And
nice of you.
well, but these are unusual times for our precious internet. And I'm another thing to be so grateful for. I'm just going to say it right now. This, right? I mean, and I think this is another example of those things that you're talking about. Um, I love our coaching community. I love our coaching community like crazy. And I actually had the idea a long time ago to just talk to people on Facebook Lives because you're all amazing people. And I didn't do it until now, right? That there's, and so I'm grateful. I'm grateful for this opportunity to do it and to stay connected to people who are really looking at ways to stay calm, to stay positive, to stay healthy, to help others. And obviously, that's why we're here.
Yes, and the other good thing about it is I'm one of those observant people, and I always I'll call it, I was nosy. I used to be in the military, so they made me nosy, and it told me always to look at what's going on around me. And I know I was on a live with you last week, and I said, "What's that book over her shoulder, the purple one?" And I kept looking, and I said, "Oh." And then I looked at the bottom and I saw your name, and I like, while you were on, when I was on that call with you, I said, I didn't know she wrote this happy book. Oh, I didn't know all this stuff about you. And I'm like, oh. And then what was best about that was that somebody else that I knew just said they just got your book. And I said, is it good? And they're like, oh, you'd love it. And I said, and then I learned about the ukulele and you only know three chords and your hats and your favorites and all this stuff. I read your whole profile and thing, but I do this to everybody. It's like I'll go through this video again and I will probably screen up to see what you have on the top shelf of your books and say, oh, wait a minute, what did she have this? Maybe this is good. And I will look at the reviews. So when Brendan has his
Wow.
things up or anybody else, the first thing I do is I wait till the video's over and then I screen in to see what they're reading. Because the reason why is positive people around me read great things that I might not have any access to, but I have to see why they're reading this.
Love you. That is all of that's so awesome. And first of all, thank you for noticing. I do keep my book there because I feel like just the title is a subliminal message for people. If they see the words "say it now," I'm hoping that it touches something and someone thinks, oh, who do I need to tell I love you to, or who do I need to reach out to? So thank you. And you're right. I do have an amazing. These are just part. We have bookshelves upon bookshelves in the house, and then this is my studio. And I'm with you. Like when I walk into someone's house, I love to look at their books.
I try to be nice about it, like, oh, what a nice house. And I'm like, okay, where can I write this down? I've actually taken a video of one of my friends' home because he does a lot of reading. And it's like I was trying to be really nice, so I had to get my phone out and I had it in front of me just scanning his whole library real quick. And then he comes over to my house and he goes, I didn't know you had this book. I'm like, looks brand new. I had it for a while, like 2 weeks ago. I bought like 20 books within like 2 days. I just actually just came from Barnes and Noble today and bought I think it was some of Brendan's reading list. I know I bought at least two books. I actually bought, actually I have it right here, Dave Hollis's book, his new book. I
Oh,
just got
Sean,
that.
I was
Yes.
I was just about to ask you. So you answered her. I was going to ask you what you're reading. Get out of your own way. I love it.
I picked this one up. I think this was on what's the name's list. I
You
don't
read
know.
the title's a little small to read.
It's Jay Krishnamurti, Freedom from the Known. He writes a lot of good books from what I've heard. I just got Evan Carmichael's new book. Um,
Built to serve.
uh, yeah, Built to Serve. I have that one. I'm also reading. Luckily, I got this in my goodie bag. So usually at one time or another, I'm either reading a financial book because that's what I do. I do financial education, so I always have at least one financial book. I bought a couple of those too. Uh, and I guess this is the other book I bought. It was called Attached.
Oh, I don't know that book. Who's that by?
This is by Amara Levine and Rachel Heller. The reason why I took this book is because I always believe that, just like John Gray said, men are from Mars, women are from Venus. And you should always try to figure out how to talk. I read The Five Languages of Love,
I love that
and
book.
I've told people I've read Mars and Venus, and I've always said that men are always missing something. And it's not our fault that we're missing something. We do have that nature to make everything okay if you just do this, this, and this.
Mm.
And we always forget it's the same thing that Brenta. You just want to be heard. You want to be respected. So all that's fixing stuff, get out of your own head. And so, like I said, get out of your own way. I have some other books in the back, but I've learned to just kind of shut up, let her yell at me, and tell me that, hey, you're a man, aren't you? I'm like, oh gosh, yes, I am. I forgot. Let me just be quiet because I'm not going to remember anything in about 20 minutes anyway. So I'm so bad that I also say, text me grocery list. So
That seems very reasonable to me, Anthony.
it is reasonable, but again, I'm a man, and I'll sit down and like I said, I'm a romantic man, but like I said, I'm still a man, and I forget. I don't remember. I don't forget birthdays, holidays, or anything else. But the way I do it is, I read somewhere or saw somewhere that you should always celebrate the other days. I am one of those people that will give you roses on a Tuesday
Uh,
because it's Tuesday. And so, but I'm also, like I said, I'm a financial guy, so I'm smart. So when Valentine's Day comes by and everybody, nice man out here, now this is a tip, is don't say I didn't give you financial advice. Do not buy your woman flowers on February 14th. That's silly. That says one day is important. What you do is wait 2 days afterwards. They go on sale. They're
oh,
usually 33% off. So that 4 dozen roses that you bought for your woman, you got it for the same price somebody bought a dozen for. Finances.
Anthony, I love so much about what you just said. There were like 1,000 things. I especially though, where I'm going to land on, my company is called Simply Celebrate, and so much of what I try to encourage people to do is celebrate every day. Yes, there's nothing wrong. Please celebrate all the occasions you want, but just like you just said that, I'm going to bring her roses on a Tuesday, and I think that's. I know we have to hop off, but I feel like I want to leave us on that beautiful note of we're in the middle of a huge crisis, but how do we still celebrate the people we love? How do we celebrate our lives in the midst of this? And I think you've just brought that into this conversation in such a beautiful way that let's not forget that, it can be a quieter celebration. I know a lot of people are suffering and people are going through very hard times. So it doesn't have to be a big hoopla, but let's look at the little ways that we can love each other and acknowledge each other right now.
Yes, make every day a Friday. Everybody's looking for the weekend to join the weekend, so make every day a Friday.
So,
You know what's worse about a Monday? It's further away from a Friday. And then I said, no, it's not. It's closer to a Friday than Tuesday or Wednesday. Tuesday is. So why don't you just don't worry about Monday so much, and you should be hoping to get to Tuesday or Wednesday. So once Monday is gone and everybody thinks it's the worst day of the week, you're already celebrating by Tuesday, 2 days in, but people are still worried about Monday, yesterday. I'm not worried about yesterday. I can't make yesterday up. I can only do as much as I could do when I had the time to do it. And if I didn't do it, I take responsibility and accountability. But you know what? When I leave at work or at the end of the night, I'm the same grateful person that I was in the morning. At 5:15 in the morning, 11:30 at night, I say the same thing. I say thank you, and I go to bed with that. with a thank you. It's the last thing I say to myself at night. Thank you. I tell myself I'm smart, I'm helpful, I'm educated, I care, and thanks for having another day. And I hope I wake up tomorrow with the feeling same thing the next day. I hope I feel like that.
Anthony, I
Yay!
love that. That is the perfect way for us to end this conversation with that gratitude, with your wonderful energy. Thank you so much. I
No,
really
I'm
appreciate
grateful. I love your smile. I love your energy. Every time I see you, you light me up. You make me feel like, oh, I gotta smile. I gotta smile more. I gotta be more. I gotta be more like her. I gotta enjoy more. So my pleasure was meeting you the first time, and every time I see you, I'm a little bit more joyous in my life that I've known you.
right back at you, Anthony. I love that, right? Let's all live into that, I think, right? That we do that for one another.
Yes. Be happy when you see somebody.
Thank you so much. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
being here. We'll see you soon, okay?
Bye. You take care. Have a great week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.